ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Hey everybody, my name is Robert Bannon and you're watching the Roundtable. Welcome, welcome. It's June, so aside from Pride, aside from the end of the school year, it is the Tribeca Film Festival. And this little Roundtable extravaganza is one of the exclusive partners to be bringing you all of the films we're going to be bringing it to you all summer long, all through June and July. And I had a really great day chatting with some amazing actors and artists, all to celebrate this movie, Midday Black Midnight Blue, which is on demand as of the 16th of June. So all you got to do is go to pay-per-view, go to YouTube, go to Amazon, wherever you get your music and movies and your entertainment, and you could watch this movie. Meryl Weaver is an Emmy winner from Nurse Jackie, and an amazing list of artists and actors. I got to speak to the co-director, the co-writer, and then two amazing actors. You've seen them in everything from Interview with a Vampire to a Dickinson to Outer Banks to soap operas to television to it all. Take a peek and then make your next date night this.
So the first bit of this new movie, Midday Black Midnight Blue, that is out and streaming as of the 16th. You have to make sure you check it out. We've seen Will in a couple of things. We've seen him on Broadway. We've seen him in television. We've seen him on movies. And now he's here with us now. Will, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
Glad to be here.
Well, congratulations on this, which is streaming, and you can get it on a video on demand wherever you get your movies and stream. What was it like to be a part of this cast and this crew and to film this beautiful, beautiful story and share it with the world?
Yeah, it was an incredible experience. I think it was really special. I don't know, we were just this little, artistic unit that felt like it was kind of us against the world up in the Pacific Northwest and Washington State. And I think everyone involved is just so brilliant and at the top of their game and really came, super open and enthusiastic about the work we were doing and the way we were trying to do it. So we're pretty scrappy, DIY indie film, so I think everybody kind of came in really, really game for that. And it made it just such a beautiful experience to make.
This is not the first time that this group has really worked together. So what has it been like to get back with old friends and collaborators and to be able to put a project together?
Yeah, I think everyone who worked on this film is family and close friends. So it's like, we've all, worked with each other, known each other for like 10 years. I met Daniel and Sam and Addie in New York theater. It was a play cycle at Rattlestick Playwrights Theater called The Hilltown Plays by Lucy Thurber. And Chris was a part of that as well. Chris and Sam were in a play together. So it's like you can see, and we've all collaborated in that 10 years so many times, working in theater in New York, we're all in the same theater company. And so I think, all of that sort of led us beautifully into this in a way that we all trusted each other so much and have such a creative shorthand, Daniel and Sam sort of inhabit the same creative mind a little bit.
Yeah.
So, it makes the work, I think it really helps us kind of go the places everybody needs to go to make this film.
Well, someone once gave me great advice, which was if you want to work and collaborate together, make sure you have a good group of artists, friends, because they're going to need you to cast you in their projects. So hopefully it's like a reunion when you all get together and then you are comfortable and do amazing work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely, I think there's so much trust and so much love that, it makes it, it makes you able to go to anywhere, it feels like you can go anywhere and you'll be safe,
How do you navigate in your career, things like this where you're, on stage in To Kill a Mockingbird?
Oh my God, that picture. Yeah, you're killing me with that.
Or, television, like you hear creepy and on Apple TV and you can watch Dickinson or a movie, movies like Unforgivable with Sandra Bullock, et cetera. When you have these different projects and you pick, they're all various stages, time periods, how do you kind of departmentalize. I'm going to work on an indie film. I'm going to do a big budget movie. I'm going to do a television show. I'm going to go back to Broadway. How do you decide what's in your mind or what's next?
I think I'm certainly not at a place in my career where there's a whole lot of choosing. For me, it's like I auditioned for a lot of stuff, and I've been very, very, very fortunate that the things I've gotten to work on have been, as you've said, like very wide ranging and varied, and um, very different levels, and mediums, and I think across the board, it's always just been like the material has been so good. So for me, I think that's where it always starts, is like you just want to find something that's where there's really good writing, and there's really clear whoever's, whatever the director, showrunner, playwright, whoever they are, they have a really clear vision of what they want to do. And I've been fortunate enough that the people who have said yes to me working on their stuff all fall in that category.
And they sure do, including Midday Black, Midnight Blue. When you read the script, when you got the chance to read for it, what was your thought when you ended reading it? Why do you think it needs to be made now? Why should we be watching it after the past few years, after all we've been through?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think, this was one of the rare experiences where Daniel and Sam had reached out, and they said that they were working on a film project with Chris, and they were writing with a role of me in mind. So I was very fortunate. This is one of the rare exceptions to the way things usually work. And when they sent me the first script, I think I hadn't read anything like it. I think it's very unique, and I think for all of us, I think learning to live with loss and still have like hope, to go is something that we all experienced, I think, collectively in 2020 with the pandemic. And it's weird. I think now, like almost as a species, we're sort of dealing with this like very existential questioning of our existence and how we're going to live in a world where we're not like the highest functioning operating system, So I think we're all grappling with these huge emotions and huge questions and loss, whether that's like loss of people, the way the world is, your careers, whatever it is. I think everybody's grappling with this, and I think what the film captures is sort of the really non-linear and sort of chaotic nature of memory and loss, and how a person can learn to live actively every day and kind of live with hope in such a hard situation, or a hard world that we live in now. So I think in that way, I think everybody can kind of come to the film and see things that they identify with, for sure.
I think that is so apropos to the times. I thought I saw the movie, and I got to say I felt when I left, like, the life is bittersweet. We're happy things happen, and sometimes we're sad when they're over, and it's always a journey. And I think you're going to help a lot of people, and I hope people will see a lot of humanity through your performance and through the performance of your cast and the crew of this movie.
Oh, thank you. I really hope, people go and, feel something, feel seen,
Yeah, if it's a Friday night and you're home and you order a pizza or Chinese food, you go right on your pay-per-view, your video on demand, or wherever you stream your movies, at YouTube or Amazon, or wherever you get, and watch it. Cuddle up with someone you care about, or have a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream by yourself.
You're speaking my language now. Yeah, that all sounds good to me.
Me too. And enjoy. Congratulations. We will be watching you on stages and screens, big and small, for all to come. Thank you for your body of work and for all the entertainment and humanity you share with us.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Okay, so when you're streaming Midday Black, Midnight Blue, Ian, the character Ian, is played by Chris Stack. You've seen Chris from soaps to movies to television shows, and now he's ready to be on demand right there at home with this new piece. Chris Stack, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I will say I have a wife and 2 kids, so I'm on demand all the time.
But I'm pumped.
Come on. This thing on?
Yeah, it sure is, and we'll be here all week. When you got the script, or when you were a part of this production, you've worked with this team. You all are. We just were talking to Will, and you all have been close and worked together. What drew you to be a part of this project specifically?
The people, Sam, Daniel, Will, as it came together, the seed of the idea was us working together on something. So the first thing that came together was the team, and then Sam and Daniel as writers wrote for the team. So the story and the project came out of the collaborators. So the very first draw was the collaborators.
Asking you a nerdy acting question.
Please.
When you have to deal with the loss that you deal with in the movie, and your loss of Liv, and what goes on and throughout the film, where do you draw from? What is your acting technique? Are you, is there something specifically that you do to try to get in the moment to be able to live this experience out realistically?
I mean, it's all, acting it's as is just kind of all sorts of creativity. It's alchemy, right? I mean, it's taking a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and kind of whatever works. There's a little bit of MacGyver where you just kind of grab a stick of gum and a toothpick and the hope that it explodes. So we all take, as artists, our personal lives and pour it into our art, whether it's clear what those elements that we're pouring into it are, or if we just kind of fill up the vessel that is the movie with our own personal stuff, then that's for the viewer to kind of impose themselves on.
Sure, absolutely. Well, it's streaming. Everybody, Midday Black.
Look at that.
Go right. Video on demand starts June 16th. Well, you've been known for a bunch of projects, from soaps to television to movies and etc. Is there, when you look back at your career, when you started acting, is this what you've always dreamed? Is this what you've always imagined was going to be the outcome?
I mean, I can't say that it's always what I imagined, but it's something that I've always dreamed. I mean, this kind of collaboration with this kind of crew, when we started together, we didn't have a script, we didn't have a project, but by putting together the group of people, the project grew, and working together with people like this in whom you trust 100% and who you want to spend time with, and you want to travel with, and you want to create with. I mean, that's what I've always dreamed of doing, like creating in that way, making movies that way, making plays that way, making art that way. So I guess it's something that I dreamed but wouldn't have dared to imagine.
Sure. Well, here's the poster here for the film, and you guys filmed this. It's an indie film. You were out in the Pacific Northwest. It was not. You guys were out there in the field. Truly, what was it like to go through this process and film a movie like this on the budget and the situation that it was filmed on?
Really, I guess exciting is a word. It's the Pacific Northwest is a place that is. I grew up in the Midwest in Indiana, and I ended up going to college in Oregon. And part of what drew me there was this kind of fantastical element that I could only imagine, with the weather, the mist, the mountains, the ocean, the killer whales, all of that was so foreign to me as a kid in Indiana. And then to be there again, 25 years later, and in a different part of the Pacific Northwest, it was exciting to return. There were lots of things that were super evocative of my younger experience there, which was super helpful in the telling of this story, especially for obvious reasons that will become obvious once you see the movie. But things that evoked a younger sense of myself. And then it's just gorgeous, and the people were super supportive, and Seattle's a really cool city, and then Whidbey Island is just a gorgeous place and incredibly unique, and we got a lot of love from the people there. So to be with my dear friends there and making dear friends in a beautiful place was it's awesome. It's awesome in the true sense of inspiring awe.
Yeah, well, not only are you going to be moved by the story, getting a chance to see the film, but the pictures are beautiful. It's shot so beautiful. The landscape it's gorgeous.
Yeah, Piero Basso, who's our DP, like, you can see a thing, and this oftentimes happens to me when I have my camera. There's no way I can capture what I'm looking at, but Piero does it. And not only does he do it, does he capture what it looks like, but he captures what it feels like. And that's real artistry and real talent.
Well, if you're looking at Chris, you've probably seen him on the Law and Orders and the Blue Bloods, the Interview with a Vampire,
or that guy.
Or we go back in the day here. I'm sure you still get stopped. The soap fans are fans forever.
Fans are fans.
They are fans. And now we get to see you with this sensibility and this nostalgia and this longing and this in this story for sure. What is it like after the pandemic and after all the things that we've been through to really talk about a movie and be a part of a movie about loss?
It's amazing. And I think it's also, there's a certain part of us that didn't really realize the extent to which we were creating what we've created. This was 2021 in June. And so, kind of coming out of, quote unquote, the pandemic that didn't really ever end. And even though it kind of officially ended on May 11th, like I'd venture to say, like, I don't feel like anything ended. Things just kind of stopped and changed. So I think, in retrospect, at the time, the experiences that we were having meant something more than they did 2 years prior. But even now, we kind of look back at our June of 2021 selves kind of nostalgically and longingly. So it's a really special thing to have to experience even now. So
can't put it better than that. I think that's
somebody could put it better than that.
No, they cannot, Chris. No, Chris Sack. No. Look, if you're home right now, make sure you stream starting June 16th. Midday Black Midnight Blue is on demand. It's an amazing cast. It's a universal story that we all can relate to, and you got to check it out. Chris, it's such an honor to talk to you. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you for being here with us today, and we look forward to all the projects to come.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, and I hope everybody checks it out and enjoys it.
Well, after we talk to Will and we talk to Chris, we need to talk to the co-writer and the co-director and we've been watching her on television. We've been watching her work, and Samantha is here. Samantha, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's lovely to meet you. Thank you for having me.
It's so lovely to meet you. Congratulations on this beautiful, beautiful piece.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how exciting it is for us to be sharing it with people. You take this thing from your imagination and you share it with the world. I'm so used to being in other people's things. You know, it's really so wild to be getting permission to share something from inside Daniel and my brain.
Well, you literally co-wrote this and you did have a little bit of everything. You might have made an egg sandwich. You might have swept the floor. Where did this idea come from? Where did it start?
Probably in the 90s. I mean, Daniel and I met as classmates at Juilliard a million years ago. I've known Daniel for longer than I was on the planet without him. So we became friends, we became collaborators. And at this point, I really think we've graduated to just family. We're just together, And Daniel and I had a theater company in New York that we ran for many, many years. So I have worked for him as an actress in a lot of different iterations. And at the beginning of the pandemic, as I was going back to school for filmmaking, thanks very much to Scott Frank, who's a mentor and a friend, who was the creator of Godless and Queen's Gambit. He sort of saw me lingering around Video Village a lot while we were filming Godless, and was like, it's most of the other actors are in their trailers. You're the only one asking about lenses. You should think about this. So Daniel too was a huge encourager, and we started making short films together. So he's in LA and I'm in New York. So he would write a script and then I would film it in New York, and then I would write a script and I would send it to him. And so it was a real natural progression of working together. And it was a real joy.
And it is beautiful. It is just beautiful. Now a little bit about you. What I understand growing up, your father is a filmmaker, and your
Well
mother,
done.
I truly tried, and your mother is a social worker.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
Google is amazing. So when you put those two things together, I mean, is there anyone more suited for this story?
Well, I think it was sort of predetermined. You go like, well, I guess I didn't really have much of a say. This was going to happen. But I do think that all the time. I was raised by people that are deep thinkers and deep activists in their own ways in terms of how do we talk about what it is to be a person. And so it was a really natural progression for me to want to make story, because that felt like the intersection of the two of them, and this story in particular, I think as a culture, we really struggle with pain, and instead of making space and caretaking each other in that, we isolate and we fracture, and it just makes it worse. And I think Daniel and I really wanted, we started as theater makers, right? So making a space is so important. And the community that we're a part of is a non-traditional one. We're sort of all over the spectrum in all kinds of things. And to have a non-binary approach to storytelling is really important to us, to have an inclusivity about pain, about loss. I think, we talk about grief as something that we're supposed to get over or to heal from. And you're like, no, that you just absorb that. You absorb it and it becomes a part of who you are. And we wanted to create a space in the film, in the cinema, in your own home, now that you can watch this at home, where it's okay to feel what you feel. It's okay that the things that are scary can come and sit beside you, and you're just watching a movie. So it's okay. It's okay. You're not in your own therapy, but that stuff can come in. You know what I mean? Like, it can be sneaky and it can sit beside you, but you don't have to be wrestling. You don't have to be rolling up your sleeves and getting in there. You can just make a little space for it. And I think that's what Merritt's character does in the movie so beautifully, is she's the voice of like, oh, I see you. I see you're in pain. I'm in pain too. You want to go for a walk? Let's go for a walk. And I think she saves his life just by doing that, and I want to encourage that in each other.
Yes. Well, I think it's what I had said to your co-stars is that it's such a universal theme. We all have lost somebody. We all have felt the loss, and especially these past few years. And to show this relationships, and I said the word to Will earlier, I was like, the movie makes me feel bittersweet. It's like the sweetness of what you have and the bitterness of what ends up being. It's real. It's such a real moment that you really encapsulated in this film.
Thank you so much. I mean, I think that's like my favorite phrase for it is bittersweet. It's the marriage of hope and pain. You don't get just one in this life. You're going to get them both, and if they can be friends with each other, maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah, well, Midday Black Midnight Blue it's June 16th. It's streaming, and everyone, we've been saying, order a pizza and open a bottle of wine and sit down on a Friday night at home and watch this movie. Your career is fun. You've had
That's all over the map, isn't it, Robert?
It is fun. I know that in real life I teach fifth grade, and I was like, if I told them about Outer Banks and like this was we were very big here at the Horace Mann School in that show, and then of course, I mean, the world exploded with Queen's Gambit and all of the fun things. When you got accepted into Juilliard and you started studying, what was the goal? Is this exceeded even what your wildest dreams have kind of been? And co-directed a motion picture.
No, it's crazy. It's really crazy. I mean, I think, I was one of those kids. I mean, maybe your kids will identify with this. Like, none of the paths felt right to me. Like, I just couldn't find where I wanted to go. I was interested in science, and then I was also interested in like sculpture, and I wanted to be in the musical, but I also played soccer, and like I never felt like one thing fit me right. And so I had a really good guidance counselor who helped me kind of figure my path out. And I graduated a year early from high school, not because I had good grades, but because I had a good guidance counselor who helped me figure it out. I mean, I was one of those kids where I I could get an A+ if I was really excited and interested in something, and if I struggled with it, I had a hard time turning in my papers. So my grade score was like this, and I applied and got into an arts school, which is named Juilliard, and it changed my life. But I had no idea that I was gonna get in. I had never taken like an act. I'd done the High School Musical. I'd never taken an acting class. I didn't know. I learned a monologue out of a book. I didn't even read the play. I didn't know anything. I just sort of fell forward with hope a little bit and was like, I don't know, maybe they'll see something in me I don't see myself. I was 17 years old and they took me. And I remember thinking like, oh God, now I gotta go. Like, these people are really serious about this. Like, am I gonna, this is a bad idea? But my dad, who's still my very, very dear friend, and has actually, I pulled him out of retirement and he came and DP'd on a movie for me that we're in edit for now. So we're now collaborators too. But he said to me at the time, he was like, just learn how to learn. You don't have to be anything. Just, you're going to study this one thing and you're going to learn how to learn it. And that you could change your mind. You could be an astronaut, but you will have learned what it is to focus on one thing and just study it. I'm a super ADHD kid. My learning style is all over the map. So like, I found a career that lets me embrace that and use it as a superpower instead of it be something that holds me back. I get to ping pong from, Outer Banks is one world and Queen's Gambit is a really different world. And then directing Midday is a really different world, but I love that. And that works for me. So that's sort of.
Yes. Well, what's meant to be is meant to be. You could have pulled that monologue out of a book. You could have sent that. You could have went on that audition, but you were meant to be there. And now you're sharing your art and humanity with all of us. So
it's an honor to get to do so. It's a privilege to get to do so. It's a hard thing. And there are a lot of really, 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 really brilliant people trying to make a living at it. And it's not easy. So yes. I'm a lucky one.
No, well, we're lucky to have spent this time with you today. And I want people that are at home, again, it's streaming right now, Midday Black, Midnight Blue. It is the perfect shout out to Will and Chris, and then to you, Samantha. Thank you so much. And your whole entire cast and crew for spending some time with us and sharing about this film. I think a lot of people are going
to talk to you.
Really need it. They were going to really need it and enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We're ready for more. We're ready for more. Thank you so much. Have the best day. Thanks for being here.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it. All really great artists, really great actors, and really great conversation for sure. I was so lucky to be able to talk to you. We'll be bringing you so much information and stuff from the Tribeca Film Festival, from Pride, and all summer long. We're live every single Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. You can always check out the YouTube channel, link, notify, subscribe, share, all those buttons that I was just saying, and comment and tell us what you liked and what you didn't. And there's nothing to not like, right? I'm Robert Bannon. Go to robertbannon.com for more information. And as always, the best is yet to come. Thanks, y'all, for being here. Hope to see you again real soon. Enjoy. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.